Hello again YouTube, my name is Bree, and in today's video I am painting once again in my handmade watercolor sketchbook that was made for me by my friend Spofgh, or Sophie. This particular sketchbook uses Bockingford paper. This paper is tinted and each signature is a different color. So in my last video I painted in the blue signatures and used the blue watercolor paper. I'm being redundant here. And in this one you could probably already tell I'm painting on yellow paper. So yeah, this is a really interesting sketchbook and I am absolutely loving the blue paper. I've done 3 pages in it now, or 3 pieces, so a page and a half I guess. And yeah, I wanted to skip ahead and try a different color. Normally I work in my sketchbooks consecutively, one page after another, but in this case there's excitement and different things as you move through the sketchbook. So I'm debating with myself whether it's best to just keep going in order so you have that chronological view into what you created as you go back to the sketchbook, or jumping around and playing with the different colors, because that's exciting too. So I think I mentioned in the previous video that in the blue section I'm using my Mariah Beth and Fineliner Nerd watercolor paints. That's a small palette that contains 5 watercolors and 1 mica. So it's in it, well, its very nature is a limited color palette. And I kind of wanted to carry that into the new section and pick a new limited color palette that I thought would go well with the yellow paper. So for this one, I really, in the blue section, I kind of wanted everything to have that cooler undertone and just layer paint on top of it, knowing those cooler colors from the blue paper would shine through. But in this case, since I had yellow, I really wanted to allow that yellow to shine in its own right. And so I didn't push the colors quite as much as I normally would, because I wanted the yellow to come through in the hair and the shirt and the skin. And then I pushed it even further. So I should take a second and apologize. Wow, I'm gonna get a slap on the wrist later for apologizing. I am really low energy right now. I'm complete brain fart there. I was I got sick last week and I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm getting better. I'm fine. It was just a cold, but I think I've just overworked myself for a while and I've been really run down this past week. I actually really struggled to put together a video and I'm so proud of myself for getting something done, because I wasn't sure I'd be able to. And you know, we need breaks. You can't push yourself all the time, but I did think that I should be able to accomplish this. I didn't want to overdo it, but yeah, so don't worry about it. No need for sympathy or get well soon. I am doing better. I'm just still a little worn down and I'm catching up on sleep and all will be well soon. So no worries there. I'm just having a harder time putting words through brain and mouth today. So yeah, this is what you get today. So anyway, I think I was talking about limited color palettes. So I wanted to pick a new limited color palette for, I originally planned for this whole yellow section. We'll see how it goes, depending on what I want to do going forward. My prior paintings in the blue section used 5 colors in the mica. This one I use only 4 colors so far. So I wanted something warmer. I think I mentioned in the previous video that for the blue palette, the blue limited color palette, I wanted something a little on the cooler side to work well with the blue paper. In this case, I wanted it to be a little warmer, and I went with, let's see, so for the yellow, I went with a yellow ochre by Daniel Smith. It's a little bit more yellow and more pigmented than some of the other yellow ochres I've worked with. It does tend to granulate just a little bit, but I don't think it's noticeable here. I went with 2 reds once again, but this time I used a really warm and deep Perylene Maroon from Vinci, which is a really beautiful color that I haven't had much time to use yet, so I really did want to bring that into my paintings more. And then I used Quinacridone Rose from Daniel Smith, which is a color I'm already pretty familiar with, but it's a very beautiful pink, a rich pink color. So it added that cool red, which allows me to mix better purples. As you probably know, I use a lot of purples in shading of skin tone. And then to be able to make those purples, I wanted a warm blue. And actually, I picked this blue first. I really want to work more with Daniel Smith Indanthrone blue because it is such a rich and beautiful color. And once again, I haven't used it all that much. So those were the 4 colors I was working with at this point. I was willing to give myself 5 or 6. I did technically add a mica, so there is just a little copper mica at the end just to add some sparkle, since I don't know, I feel like playing with those a bit more lately. And then we'll see. Because this is yellow, I can see myself wanting to play with green, but I do like limiting the scope of the color the color palette instead of trying to use the entire color wheel when I'm doing these limited palettes. But yeah, maybe we'll lean it a little bit more green next time. We'll see. I don't know who the we is in this scenario. So yeah, what else? I really don't have too much to say about this one. I decided to paint a female because I haven't done that in a while. I looked on YouTube, and my last video where I was actually painting a woman was in October, so it's been a while. Like I said, I've been tired and I was lazy, so I didn't really want to look up references. So I started by just taking a picture of myself, and then as I did the sketch, I pushed and pulled and made it look a lot less like me, or at least I hope I didn't keep too much of my own resemblance. I changed the shape of the face, made it more heart-shaped, lowered the hairline, bigger eyebrows, of course, much cleaner skin. By clean, I mean like less blemish, not like I'm filthy, don't look at me. Well, don't look at me. Oh my gosh, I'm like really out of it. But yeah, and then, yeah, colors, change those too. So, because yeah, I don't have yellow eyes. Most people don't. Does anyone? I don't know. I'm sure someone out there has oddly yellow eyes, and it's probably pretty cool. I know that depending on like, there are people out there who have naturally violet eyes, and certain diseases could cause you to have like really pale gray, almost white eyes or red eyes, and so it's possible. I don't know. I don't have them though. I'm just rambling. So yeah, I guess it's pretty clear at this point. I don't have much to talk about here. I wanted to speak to that limited color palette and just a little bit about the piece. And I guess that's really all I have. So I could definitely use more practice painting women. I find women harder. I know a lot of people who primarily draw or paint women find men a lot harder, but I guess it's your comfort zone, what you've gotten used to. I think men are really interesting because you could make really hard lines and incorporate more colors. Like you could really put in blues for the shadows without making them necessarily look like they have a 5 o'clock shadow, where if you use blues in the shadows for women, sometimes you get that, like, it doesn't work as well. You can't draw as many harsh lines in the shading, in the shadows. I don't know, it's just, I'm not used to it. So yeah, I really don't have much to say, and actually I don't think this video is going to be very long, so I don't think I'm going to need to film or record too much audio. So thank you all for listening to my odd rambles, and I hope to see you again in a couple weeks with a much more energetic and lively video. I don't know. Take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.